thought process is over. Now trying to take the back of his opponent, working side control. Now delivering some nice elbows from the top, creating space. Now looking for the takedown, misses that overhand left, and an overhand right is slightly missed here. And now looking to close the gap here, and it appears he's running away. And now they're going to attack the ref with a nice pimp slap. Oh my God, this fight is over. Both fighters are disqualified as they attack the ref. My God, he's just in there doing his job for the love of God. Well, he misses a left and misses the overhand right as we turn this into Benny Hill.
Well, hello there, partner. Go on and hang up your hat, grab yourself a whiskey, and pull up in the easy chair. We're coming off the range of 9 to 5s with a whole herd of news stories that we've been steaming over like a cow patty in the Texas heat. As they say, the chickens are finally coming home to roost. And we're here to ruffle some feathers and ensure accountability ain't just a concept, it's reality. It's that time where the day's drama casts its longest shadow. So let's light a candle to the chaos of current events, the whirlwind of politics, and the tangled webs of corruption that we find ourselves entwined by. It's time to ramble our way into the twilight. Welcome to Sunset Rants.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sunset Rants. I'm Biddy, and this is allegedly Jackson here with me. We got some show for you guys today. We have the tragic state of what's going on in California. It's burning down as we speak. We have the new Laken Riley Act that just passed the House. We got Trump asking the U.S. Supreme Court to halt sentencing in New York hush money case, Korea political drama update, and a milestone in Syria. So thank you guys all for joining us. We are all glad you are here. You could be anywhere else but here, and we're glad to have you. We got a Discord where all the magic happens for Sunset Rants. You want to be a podcast host, producer, researcher, writer. This is the only place where you get to be a part of the fastest growing podcast community on X. You can also check out our website where Sunset Rants is part of the Rise of Middle America Network, where you can see our most recent content, news, rants, deep dives, as well as up-and-coming events that you don't want to miss. Also, at the bottom of the page, there is a PayPal link where you can make a monetary contribution to help us push this post-cancel culture society. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You can follow the show on X at @therealroma_AK. Help us push this post-cancel culture society to the next level, because we really got to get that done, you guys. And allegedly, Jack, just remind everybody where they can reach you on the socials, man.
You can find me on X at @allegedlyjack, and also in the community, the Shenanigan Shack.
Yes, you definitely want to follow that one. There's shenanigans for sure. Yes, absolutely. And you can find me on X as well, Elizabetty213A. I'm also at that handle on Instagram, and then on YouTube at Elizabetty213. All right, you ready to get this started?
Yes.
All right, without further ado, let's bring up the first story. Guys, California, as I was stating earlier, man, they're burning as we speak, you guys. It's absolutely tragic. I couldn't sleep all night last night. I just kept scrolling through. There was just update after update. If any of you have been, scanning social media, you can see the devastation, the destruction. It's Los Angeles County is in total disarray. The Palisades, Eaton, Hearst, significant damage. Pacific Palisades, Topanga, Altadena, Pasadena, Sierra Madre, parts of the San Fernando Valley. You got Ventura County, other areas like San Bernardino, Riverside, Orange, San Diego counties. I also just heard, I haven't looked it up though, but I'm believing there's something starting in the Hollywood Hills. It's absolutely incredible. It's really, really bad. Yeah, and as you can see here, we got a map to just kind of give you an idea of the scale. You know, if you think of all those counties I just read off, you know, all the different areas. I mean, was it the Palisades that it's like 75%, I believe? Yeah, up to 75% of Pacific Palisades have been completely leveled. It's absolutely terrible. It's a ghost town when you look at it. I was looking through just some of the posts going through X. You know, people keep updating us. Yeah, you know, all the major social media, you know, podcasters and influence, you know, people that just post the news all the time. They're just giving us updates here. We had James Woods, the actor, who's, you know, he's a conservative. He's a big Trump supporter, and you know, he's been speaking on the Democrats and the left for quite some time. He went on a few shows today. He was on CNN. He went on Fox, and he actually mentioned, you know, like, you know, this is what he said. You know, this is why they have things like tribunals, because you know, Gavin Newsom specifically took an oath of office to protect, to get the duties done that are needed for his people. And this could be looked at as a dereliction of duty, don't you? I mean, like, what do you think?
It should. I mean, this is at least the second time that there's been a wildfire that there doesn't seem to be any kind of actual proper response to. They're not prepared for any kind of situation with these fires that continue to happen. And a lot of people are pointing toward, you know, the forestry management not being done properly. But I mean, there's stories about the fire hydrants not having any water to draw from for the firefighters to work with. So it sounds like there's a lot of mismanagement in an area where they should be more prepared to actually be able to fight large fires.
Exactly right, because they do get these fires. I mean, this is, you know, every state has their thing, right? You have states that always have to deal with tornadoes. You have states that deal with floods and whatnot.
This is my parents' home.
Yeah, actually, and we do have a video we're going to show you in just a second. But you know, just like what you were saying, they should be fully equipped. They should be fully prepared when something like this happens. And time again, we noticed that they're not. I looked up a few things beforehand just to kind of see, like, you know, what has been going on over the years. So back in 2020, Newsom, or as Trump calls him, Newscum, and I'm inclined to do that today, cut $150 million from the Cal Fire wildfire prevention budget. And then back in 2019, he launched his, you know, and this is what he ran on, 35 priority projects, quote unquote, priority projects, which were meant to be implemented to help decrease the safety risk for more than 200 Californian areas, most wildfire vulnerable. And 2 years after that, it was discovered that only 13% of the job he promoted on the highest priority projects was completed. Then I don't know if you guys remember, but when Trump went on the Rogan podcast before the election, he actually mentioned this. He talked about this, and he said that there's water that has a natural flow coming down from Canada, and it's not being allowed to flow into California in order to protect some, like, fish. That's what their argument is. So it's like environmental protection stuff, or, you know, all these different like programs and projects, like, you know, pet projects that they have, you know, that tug on your heartstrings, or at least supposed to, but you're risking people's lives by doing these kind of things. The water actually gets routed to the Pacific Ocean. Millions and millions of gallons of water gets routed into the Pacific Ocean instead of coming down to California where they need it. And then they have the gall to say that they don't have enough water. And then people go through droughts. The forests, you know, get dried up and all this other stuff. Another thing that Trump mentioned during that podcast was, due to environmental health argument. They are not allowed to rake the dead leaves and remove the dead fallen trees in some areas. Like, why? I mean, this all sounds like you're allowing your people to be sitting ducks. It's I mean, somebody please tell me I'm wrong, because
I
it
bet
just
I bet if you look into it, that has something to do with disturbing wildlife. But I'm like, what's more important here? What do we need to prioritize more? People's lives and homes and property, or some species of mouse or chipmunk or something? Like, it doesn't
Right.
make a lot of sense. It's like some of these environmental rules are a little bit too strict. But then you have other problems, like the LA mayor cut fire department funding by $17.6 million.
Whoa. You see what I mean?
And I'm just like, in an area where you have wildfires, why would you cut it by almost $18 million?
Yeah,
It doesn't make any sense.
yeah, and then the fire chief in LA, she came out very proud of the DEI initiatives that they put in place. I mean, not saying that these people can't be qualified, but if you're sacrificing qualified individuals that could be hired to do these jobs just so you can check a box and make it look like you're a social justice warrior, I'm not okay with that.
Yeah.
You're talking about people's lives, not working, working at a cash register or something like that. Firemen, police officers, Secret Service, all these kind of jobs. You have to hire the qualified individuals. You just have to. If Brian, if you can pull up that one video, we have a video here of a woman who her parents had fire insurance coverage for 75 years in their home, and they just canceled it a few weeks prior to this.
And they just they got canceled from their fire insurance. So they're dealing with this. They're 90 years old, and through the state of California, because of this, they're 90 years old. They've lived in this house for 75 years, and they've had the same insurance, and these insurance people decided to cancel their fire. And we're going through this, and it just happened, and they have no fire insurance. So thank you, California insurance companies, supporting residents who pay taxes and love California. And they wonder why people leave California.
First and foremost, you did get your parents out safely.
I live in Sierra Madre. My parents are in Sierra Madre, but...
And now you know that it is under evacuation as well, north of Sierra Madre Boulevard.
Yeah, I snuck here. There's a will, there's a way. Probably shouldn't do it, but you know what? Under the circumstances, send me to jail. That's fine.
It is unbelievable what's happening here to the neighbors. Your parents' house is still standing. You had a hose. You're doing what you can.
I mean, I have a hose. It doesn't compare to these beloved neighbors that I've known. I was born and raised in this house, and I live in Sierra Madre, and I'm now 62 years old. And this is the house I was born and raised in, and I've never moved out of Pasadena, Sierra Madre, Hastings Ranch.
Well, let me tell you, it does help for people who aren't here to know what's happening. So you sharing that story, it does a service. I came up to you without even asking your name.
My name is Lynn Levin Guzman.
Yeah, so that just kind of gives you just one story. I mean, there's going to be many stories, but like he said, like the reporter said, this is how we get our information from the people, because none of the officials or anybody like that are saying these kinds of things, or at least I haven't seen. They're trying to make it seem like they got everything covered, and I guess there could be an element of like, we don't want people to panic, but again, how can you not panic when there's like, I don't know, somebody told me like the fire that's coming through there, it's not just like a regular fire, because I had asked, like, if somebody's trapped, can you just kind of like soak a blanket or something, wrap yourself in it and run out? But the heat intensity of the heat, it just, you would burn like right away. Yeah, there's other things coming out. I just was looking up LA Mayor Karen Bass. She was criticized for an African trip during the wildfires. She apparently she was in Africa to let me see. It was something about for the inauguration of Ghana President John Mahama, plus a meeting with Nana Jane Opuko Agyemang, who's making history as Ghana's first female vice president. So she was there while this was going on. She didn't rush right back. She stayed. Apparently, she was coming back today. That's the mayor of the city that's burning. I mean, can you just Jackson?
But no, there's a clip where a reporter's asking her if she has any comment for her constituents, and she didn't have anything to say at all.
Yeah, because she knows what she did was wrong. If she had any integrity whatsoever, she wouldn't have thought about her career or her status abroad or how she looked being there or whatever the heck else she thought in her head of why she didn't turn right back around and come back to her people. But I'm sure when she was going out to become elected, when she was campaigning, I'm sure she told everybody about how great of a mayor she was going to be and how, she holds the city of Los Angeles, in the palm of her hand and all that other kind of nonsense that they say when they're running for office. But yeah, there's just a ton. Another thing that I looked at, and then we can move on, if you don't have anything else, but Biden, he came to visit and he ordered LA airspace closed, which impedes on the firefighting aircrafts. And this was going on for over a day because he was in town. So for safety. And I was in a Spaces recently, and there were some left-leaning people in there. There was some Trump supporters, right-leaning people. And a Trump supporter came out and said, why didn't he go to New Orleans when everything happened? He should have been there. And the argument from the left people were, oh, well, it was probably a good thing that he didn't do. He probably knew that if he went down there, they would have to close off streets and it might impede on investigations and all this other kind of stuff. They would have to move things around and it would take, officials away from their duties of trying to figure out what happened there. Fine. Then you have this, he goes there and he impedes on, firefighters that are trying to put out these fires. So again,
they absolutely need the size of that fire. They need aircraft to put that fire out.
Exactly. So again, it's like, please, somebody, if you have an argument against all the things that we're bringing up, to say, no, it's not this, it's something else. No, it's, this is the reason why they're doing it. I'm all ears. I really am. I don't want to believe that all of this that we just went over is being allowed to happen, or all of this is going down like this. I really don't. I really don't. Who does? Who wants to believe that? I mean, they're fellow American citizens. Yeah, they're your officials, they're your politicians, all of that, your leaders, but they're also American citizens, we're all supposed to protect and want to work with one another and care for each other. How
it should be a humanitarian effort, regardless of anyone's politics or where it occurred in the U.S.
Exactly.
And that's the thing, you have Biden shows up and he just kind of really quickly says, oh, it's terrible that people lost their homes. And by the way, I'm a great grandpa.
Right. You got to throw that in. Everybody cheer for me.
And immediately changes the subject when I'm like, they just announced that they're sending another $500 million to Ukraine. I think we could probably use that in LA.
That's right.
Or in North Carolina, or, so on and so on. There's various disasters here that aren't being dealt with. As far as I know, there's still some people sleeping in tents from the hurricanes.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, a friend of ours in the Discord, he showed me a video earlier, and the Amish are still going down there from Pennsylvania creating these tiny homes. Originally when they did it, they were told that it was like, they were in a flood zone, so the homes that they built weren't up to code, so they tried to slap that whole, effort down of neighborly effort. But they did it again. So we, and that's community. That's the kind of things that we love to see. But the people that we elect into office, the people that are getting paid, the people that we're entrusting our lives so that way we can go about our daily lives and not have to concentrate on these kinds of things because we hope they got it. They don't got it. Or I don't know what they're doing. They're just not doing the right things. So I don't know if you have any more to this, but if not, we can move on and just, everybody just continue to say prayers for the people in California. They really need it. And all across the nation, everything that's been going on, we just got to continue to pray for our people. All right. So we have the Laken Riley Act that was just passed by House Republicans, which is wonderful. A lot of people wanted to see this. We got a post here from Scott Pressler. I always got to say, God bless that man. Breaking: the Republican-controlled House passed the Laken Riley Act 264 to 159. And the 159, that was the Democrats who said no. The bill mandates that illegal aliens charged with theft-related crimes must be detained. And again, those 150 Democrats, how could you? I mean, I heard I looked into it a little bit because again, I'm a person that tries to find the good in people. I want to see where they're coming from. I want to see what their arguments are. We've seen in the past where bills have names on them and it means the total opposite when it comes to the bill, or there's stuff hidden in there that people are arguing about, So I said, all right, let me play the devil's advocate. Let me look at it. Let me just see what they're saying. And I read the bill, just a little summary of it. There's a couple of, key points in here. One of the things is Section 236C of the Immigration and Nationality Act was amended. So there was stuff here in there, that they were changing the verbiage on. And any alien who is charged with, is arrested for, is convicted of, admits having committed, or admits committing acts which constitute the essential elements of any burglary, theft, larceny, or shoplifting offense, can be deported. So, that is what this is all about. And, there's Representative Pramila Jayapal, the Democrat from Washington. If you guys remember her, she was the one in the viral video with Tom Holman where she's slamming her gavel down and he retorts with, "You work for me," and rightly so, because they forget that they do. But she slammed it, saying the Laken Riley Act is an attempt to score cheap political points off of a tragic death. So says the party that likes to exploit, any mass shooting by pushing for more gun laws that are unconstitutional. She also said it unfairly sweeps up more innocent lives without due process. So I was looking into that, and yes, illegal aliens or documented immigrants do have the right to due process in the United States. Under the Fifth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution states that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. This applies to everyone within the U.S., regardless of their immigration status. However, when you think about it, they already committed a crime by trying to circumvent the asylum-seeking claims, and how that all worked out. So they're very funny with what they did with that and how they worded it. What have you seen this, or what are your thoughts on this so far?
Well, that's the thing is, I mean, a lot of people that are against this, there's like these waves of illegal immigration. One of the points is they committed a crime coming into the country to begin with.
Exactly.
But I think where they're concerned about the things like shoplifting being a problem where they're going to get deported is a lot of these people are criminals that other countries didn't want, that
Right.
they encourage to come here so that it's not a problem for them anymore.
That's right.
So a lot of them it's not just the fact that maybe they didn't understand how our immigration laws work or whatever. No, a lot of them are known criminals,
Mm-hmm.
and they're coming here and they're likely to commit more crimes
Mm-hmm.
and things like shoplifting or burglary or whatever. There's going to be like the majority of those crimes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be very easy to catch them and send them back, and that actually helps with that.
Right.
So, but I mean, like, you have some of these policies, and it's kind of like we talked about with California. You have the with shoplifting out there, it was, well, as long as it's not over $999, and it has this cascading effect of that ruins businesses where they just go under.
That's right.
And they want to leave the state and whatever. So like a lot of these things that they encourage, it's like part of a larger idea of wanting to get rid of private property or whatever. That's not how they sell it to people.
Mm-hmm.
But like one of the reasons why they encourage shoplifting is the same kind of reason why they would be for when they had the moratorium on rent.
Right.
Where it was ruled to be unconstitutional.
Right.
And because I mean really that's all they're trying to do is they're trying to abolish private property. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that stuff kind of goes hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about the fact that would make it easier to catch a lot of the illegal aliens. It's also part of a larger ideology. So
That's right.
it's not, they'll try to sell it to people like various BS reasons about
Of
why
course.
that, and not what it actually is. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a step in the right direction. But I mean, as Trump, is inaugurated and comes back into office and starts to deal with some of the illegal immigration issues, that we may see a lot less of those problems anyway, which would be fantastic.
Agreed.
Because I mean, a lot of these people that come, I mean, they are committing crimes, and they'll try to give you stats and say, "Oh no, they're not." They are.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it over and over again.
Yep. And yeah, it's so. A couple of other things, just a little, kind of recap. I'm not going to go into the details of what happened to Laken Riley. May she rest in heaven, because she fought for her life. But there's a couple of things I just wanted to mention. One thing that I thought everybody, I mean, it's not going to change the world, but it's kind of nice to hear. I'm constantly bringing up TikTok. I know there's a lot of people who don't like TikTok for varying reasons. It's been demonized a lot because of there's a lot of toxic content on there. But at the same time, as Trump mentioned, it did help win him in the election, especially among the young crowd, among other things. Of course, Charlie Kirk and people like that who went to the campuses and did the debate. I mean, there was a lot of reasons why the younger crowd came out in full force for him. But TikTok did help a lot. And one wonderful thing that I saw go on as soon as the trial went on for Ibarra, Jose Ibarra, who brutally murdered Laken Riley, and they found out that she fought for 18 minutes. 18 minutes she fought. So there was a whole campaign, hashtag run for Laken Riley, where you see men and women putting their stopwatch on for 18 minutes and doing a run for her in her honor. I get the chills thinking about it. And again, it's not something that's going to change the world, but it just goes to show you that so many people, whether it was trending or not, and it's just, they were making the content, so many people, felt the sting of that one particular event and instance, and they wanted to show solidarity with her. They wanted to feel those 18 minutes to remember what she went through and how strong she was. So I thought that was really wonderful. So if any of you out there go on TikTok, it's hashtag run for Laken Riley. There's so many videos. It's really nice to see. And it shows you that the people are in support of bills like this that are going to protect us. Another thing is I wanted to show was there was a lot of reasons that kind of pissed me off and a lot of people off. Was Jose Ibarra, just like a little thing about him, his past criminal record has come under scrutiny after his conviction in the murder of Laken Riley. And he was a Venezuelan national. He entered the U.S. illegally, obviously, in September of 2022. He was previously involved in several legal issues, including immigration violations, criminal offenses. Despite his history, though, he was able to remain in the U.S. for 2 years. His latest conviction has led to a life sentence without parole. So that's what that was the end result of that trial. But just a couple of points here. So illegal entry into the U.S. in 2022. Him and his wife entered the U.S. near El Paso, Texas in September 2022, receiving temporary protected status due to the unstable situation in Venezuela. Okay, fine. After their arrest and release, that they were put on a bus and they were sent to New York. Then in 2023, Ibarra was arrested in Queens, New York, while making food deliveries. Police took him into custody for allegedly endangering his wife's 5-year-old son, who was riding on the back of his moped without a helmet while he was making these deliveries. But despite being eligible for immigration and customs enforcement detainment because of everything, he was released by the NYPD before a detainer could be issued. And this allowed Ibarra to avoid further immigration enforcement. Again, same year, around a month after Ibarra's arrest in New York, his brother Diego was living in Athens, was involved in was involved in a shoplifting incident at a local Walmart. The two were accused of stealing various items, including bacon and clothing. They were issued citations for a misdemeanor theft and allowed to leave without further action. Citations, okay? Then he gets flown to Georgia. And that's when that happened. He's flown to Georgia on the taxpayer's dime, and as we can see, the result of that, Laken Riley, again, may she rest in heaven, is no longer with us. So our system is flawed. It's more than flawed. I can't. There's a stronger word for it. It's absolutely egregious what's been going on. They say that there's some reports here that he's part of the Trendiagua gang. They're all over the place, creating havoc and doing terrible things. I mean, what do you think?
We've let in enough Venezuelans where Trump was talking about how the crime rate has gone down significantly in Venezuela.
You don't say.
We just don't need to let these people in.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's that, and a lot of people brought up, it's kind of reminiscent of if you've ever watched Scarface. The beginning of it is that the entry of all that when they let out political all the criminals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's how that movie starts, and that's an actual event that happened, and it caused chaos.
That's right, and that's why he said, "I'm a political prisoner seeking asylum," and here we are again. Yeah. Let's see. What'd you say, Brian? We got some updates. Oh, yes. Yeah. So, there's some good news on this because it did pass the House, right? The Laken Riley Act passed the House. It's on to the Senate, and we got the possible maybe turning Republican someday. We don't know, as our boss, AK, has said, he speculates we're going to hear something coming down the pike from him in the future. Probably, maybe, we'll see. But he's sponsoring this bill, and we're going to hear it here, what he's calling for from his colleagues.
It's really common sense. And I'd like to remind everybody that we have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of migrants here illegally that have convicted of crimes. And why, I don't know why, who wants to defend that, to allow them to remain in our nation? That. And now if you're here illegally and you're committing crimes and those things, I don't know why anybody thinks that it's controversial that they all need to go.
Do you think that this was one of, if not the biggest issue for this election?
Well, I think if we can't, there's 47 of us in the Senate, and if we can't pull up with 7 votes, if we can't get at least 7 out of 47, and if we can't, then that's a reason why we lost. That's one of them. That's one of why we lost, in part.
Go ahead,
Brett. If you
Very well said. Very well said. Anybody with a brain, is looking at that. You see people on the news now talking about reasons why the Democrats lost. They tried to say that they weren't, giving the message over, but a lot more people are coming out now, even, surrounding that party and saying, we weren't listening to the people. This is what they're really worried about, is the economy, immigration, people just coming through the border. We don't know who the heck they are. There's a lot of that going on. So, as Senator Fetterman was saying, they need to get, they basically need the additional 7 to get to 60 for the filibuster to get it passed. And if they wanna salvage their party, they better stop pushing against stuff like this, because they try to tug on your heartstrings about, people might be, unfairly charged with a crime and then deported. Like, all right, well, we got to get to it when we get to, that's one part of it. That's police enforcing. That's the DAs, that's the judges, yes, all of that stuff should work, whatever. But if you are charged and with a crime, if you're known to have a crime, so the police are there, you get charged with a crime, you're gone, period. It's not like the guy at the 7-Eleven is going to say, oh, you just stole my stuff, and then the ICE people are just going to come out of the woodwork and just pull him out of the country. Like, it's not going to be like that. So, but that's what they want you to think. They want you to think that there's no other thought about it. All right, so let's see. We have news coming out of the Trump trial, the hush money trial going on in New York. He asked the Supreme Court to halt sentencing in New York hush money case. All right, so coming to you from Reuters, it says President-elect Donald Trump has asked the U.S. Supreme Court to prevent a New York State court from sentencing him for his conviction on criminal charges stemming from hush money paid to a porn star. Quote, this court should enter an immediate stay of further proceedings in New York trial court to prevent grave injustice and harm to the institution of the presidency and the operations of the federal government, unquote. And that's what his lawyers wrote in a filing that was made public today. On Tuesday, a New York appeals court denied his effort to halt sentencing scheduled for Friday in New York State Court in Manhattan. In Wednesday's filing, today, his lawyers asked the U.S. Supreme Court to immediately order a stay in the case as he seeks an appeal to resolve questions of presidential immunity. So I was looking at this a little bit too. I know you've been. I was just kind of looking back on when this whole case should have stopped. I mean, it shouldn't have started, in my opinion, but at all these different points where it should have stopped. Okay, so we have Jeff McCooney. He came out and testified under oath that he is the one who instructed the accounting department to classify the payments as legal expenses. And he said he did that because of how Cohen worded the invoice, and that the entire case is based on the premise that Donald Trump had the payments classified as legal expenses to hide hush money payments. Right then, the case should have been thrown out after that testimony. That's it, in my opinion. There's some other things I was looking at. Basically, what Judge Merchan is looking into, because he's not even looking for jail time. He's not even looking for probation, parole. He's looking for an unconditional discharge. All they want is their stupid label. They want to be the one, Judge Merchant and the rest, they want to be the one that tried and convicted Donald Trump and sentenced him. Go down in history, whatever, put a stain on his name, all this other stuff, spending taxpayer dollars while they're doing it. It's absolutely insane.
And that's the thing is that they had to switch it from, because the statute of limitations was up. They had to switch these things from misdemeanors to felonies just to be able to charge them, because it was, the statute of limitations was up.
Right.
So they're concocting the charges to begin with to say that he's a felon.
That's right.
It's not even a felony charge. And that's the thing is, so you had Cohen as the star witness. I mean, the guy did time for lying to Congress. He's not a reliable witness.
Right. Yeah, it's just insane. Sometimes I really don't even have the words for it. There was another thing that I looked up that I thought was kind of like a ironic callback or a funny callback, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if you guys remember, but not last year, because we're in 2025 now, but somewhere around 2023, Nancy Pelosi did a press conference, and she kind of mentioned, I found an old Benny Johnson post where he said, never forget when Nancy Pelosi revealed the Democrat Party's entire playbook called the wrap up smear. And she's just like talking about it like it's this cool thing that you can like whip out whenever it suits you. She said, quote, you smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it, and then you write it, and they'll say, see, you meaning the reporters, she pointed at them, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press that this, that this is this. So they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called a wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on that smear we made, and it's a tactic.
I mean, and that's the thing. They've done it a lot. When that thing came out about Mitt Romney's taxes, and you had, name escapes me right now, but you had, I'm
trying to look it up. Let me see.
Previous Senate Majority Leader.
Senate Majority Leader. Well, Mitt Romney was the Senate Majority Leader.
No, it wasn't. It was.
I don't remember now. I'm trying to look. Hold on.
Anyway.
Anyway. Well, yeah.
They asked him. They said, "Well, was that true?" And he goes, "Well, he didn't get elected, did he?" He didn't admit that he lied about it, but he pretty much did. That, like, the thing about Mitt Romney's taxes wasn't true.
Oh, Mitch McConnell?
No, I got. Oh, shoot.
We're just gonna like throw.
I don't know why I had a brain fart on that particular name, but I did.
Maybe I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember.
But, I mean,
either way, yeah, it's just
there's
like
been other things like this. So, like, one of the other things that they would do was, so like the FBI would have someone leak something to the media. The media would write an article about it. They would point to the media article and go, well, that's the reason why we need to open an investigation.
That's right.
And the whole reason why there was a media article is because they had leaked to them. So it's this whole circular thing where it's like, okay, well, the reason we need a warrant is because of this thing that was reported.
That's right.
And I'm like, well, you made it up. It's not a real, nobody's reporting on anything that actually happened. You just pulled something out of thin air.
That's right. It's like with Cat Williams, where he does that skit and he's like, do you know that I could see you? Like that's how I feel. I feel is like, because, when you're because I, for years was like part of the normie crowd. Like, I watched the Grammys. I was all up in the, and what people call the Matrix, just like chilling, just totally oblivious to politics and what, you know, I kind of saw things or whatever over time, but I wasn't really like watching it. And, you know, I'm learning a lot now, trying to make up for lost time. But, you know, those people that aren't paying attention, those are the ones that they're doing this stuff for. That's why they continue to do this, because those people will just be like, all right, you know, like,
Well,
yeah,
you know,
sounds good.
You get a lot of that. So like,
Yeah.
there's, I mean, you get people that'll blow things off like, you know, back when Clinton was doing everything he was doing, and you get the excuse, well, everybody does it. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, they don't.
But then when you say Trump calling people out directly and getting like real heated about something, they'll be like, oh, well, he's the president and he's got to have a stature and, you know, all this other kind of stuff. Like, okay, so you don't want him to talk mean, but all these people can do these crazy things. And it's like, you know, when Biden pardoned Hunter, it was like, well, wouldn't you if that was your son? And it's like, but he's the president of the United States. You're at a different level.
Where people have said that, would you? I'm like, no, I actually wouldn't.
Right.
And I especially wouldn't for an 11-year period of time. I'm like, if you think he was treated unfairly over 2 charges, why in the world would you pardon him for a blanket pardon for 11 years?
That's right.
You're trying to cover things that you think happened allegedly between here and here.
Allegedly.
On that laptop.
Yeah.
And it was Harry Reid.
Oh, Harry Reid. Okay. That didn't come up anywhere when I Googled it.
You know,
I was all thumbs.
I was thinking Harry, and I was like, black eye, and I'm like, no, I'll remember the last name here in a second. But yeah, he came out and he was saying all these things about Mitt Romney's taxes, and then he pretty much admitted that he lied about it. He's like, well, he didn't get elected, did he?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. This is why they're all pissed that they know they're going to be held accountable pretty soon. A lot of them. I mean, not everything can be done all at once, of course, but they know it's coming, and that's why they're all pissed about it. So it's that time again. A little, 2 minutes past, but that's all right. It's caption this time. And our producer got us a great photo here. It kind of goes in with our cold opening video that we had, which was adorable, by the way. So how this game works, for any of you guys that don't know, this is chat participation, as it says underneath us there. We want you guys to come up with a caption for this. Caption this, right? And what you guys are going to put your captions in the chat there. Be funny stuff, whatever you like comes to you when you see this photo. At the end of it, we'll give some time, we'll let all the captions come through. We'll each pick our favorite. If it's the same one, they win automatically. If we are in debate about which one is the funniest, then we'll go to the chat and we'll let them vote. And we're going to be having Roma Nation merch coming out soon, so look out for that. We're going to have Christopher Bear. Aaron's starting us off strong. I love it. Yeah, so the whole idea of this is we're going to keep an eye out on who wins. And at the end of the year, the champion winner of all of it is going to receive some free merch from our new merch collection. So, just to kind of spice things up a little bit, but this is super fun. We love this game. We're bringing it back to life. We used to do it, back in the day, and I'm so happy this is back. So, just full disclosure, I suck at this. I'm so bad. I have like my good days where stuff will come to me, but I'm not good at it. I rely on the chat, and I don't know if you usually come up with some good stuff, but we'll see what we got here. Okay, so we got, let me see if I scroll up a little bit. The dragon. Okay, so we got Vash with the Dragon Warrior Path to Cyberpunk. Polar Squad. I love that. That's cute. That's from Cynical Latina. I love that one. Okay, let's see. Crisper Bear. That's from Aaron. We saw that earlier. Also, Cynical Latina put in Peking Panda. We got Treebeard, that's one of our producers. Kung Fu Panda 6. Let's see. We got another one of our producers who's pushing the buttons for us today. Murder Bear Will Find You.
They're Pew Pew Pandas.
Right. The Pew Pew Pandas. All right. Oh, we got the boss, Mr. A.K. Bernstein Bears Black Ops Edition. All right. We got Aaron with Lizzo cosplaying as Rocket Raccoon. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my god. Just so you guys know, Erin usually does this. She is the GOAT when it comes to this game, man. Oh my gosh. All right, we got Vash. Vash has been doing it too. Vash, 5 nights at the Shaolin Monastery? What does that mean? Shaolin? Oh, so what is that?
Shaolin, like Kung Fu, like Shaolin monks.
Oh, okay. All right, Treebeard eats, shoots, and leaves in that order. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Oh no, not Lizzo. What do you think? Like, let's see. We'll give it.
Lizzo cosplaying as Rocket Raccoon's pretty good.
That was really good. All right, so we got. Why don't we give it to about 9:55? We'll see if any more comes in. That one was good. Oh, we got another one. Just an entry. A Mean Green Mother on X says Black Ops Pandemonium. I love that. That's cute. Pandemonium. We got another one from Cynical Latino on X, Pandas on Ice. That's good. I liked her original one too. The what was it? Polar Squad. I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
And Panda Team 6 was really cool. Metal Gear Panda. This is a good picture today. Everybody's got like just coming with it. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate you.
The bare necessities include C4.
Oh my gosh, that's good. Oh my gosh, I don't know. What do you like? Are you still on the other one, or what do you think?
I think I like the Pandemonium one best, but then
yeah,
I'd say that one followed by the Lizzo cosplaying.
Yeah, the Lizzo cosplaying as Rocket Raccoon.
There's a lot of really good ones though.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, we can do that. Sorry, the producer's talking in our ears, so that's what I'm responding to. So yeah, I think so. Okay, so you want to go with the Black Ops Pandemonium, and then I'll go with Lizzo cosplaying as Rocket Raccoon. So so now we need your guys' help, because we're not in agreement, right? We're conflicted with these two. So put a 1 in the chat if you're going for Lizzo cosplaying as Rocket Raccoon, and put a 2 in the chat if you choose Black Ops Pandemonium. Oh God. AK coming in with the Last Dragon, Milano's Revenge. Oh no. All right, well, okay, so it'll include our vote too. So there's 1 for 1. And so we got 3 for 1 right now, and we got 2 for 2. Panda Express Security. You guys are just like dishing them out. Come on, guys, give us a vote. And listen, if it's one of yours, you can vote for yourself. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a super soldier. Ed! All right, there you go, Mean Green Mother. Vote for yourself. All right, so we got, I can't count. What did I say? We got 3 for 2, and we got 3 for 1. All right, so we got a tie. The Care Bear stare. Come on, Aaron, vote for yourself. What do we got a tie now? What do we do in the event of like a tie in the audience? We got to figure that out. I don't know. What do you guys think in the background there? Should we leave it as a tie as two winners, or should we try to get a winner? Yeah, I mean, I would just say I don't vote when I'm involved. Yeah. We'll just give it like 2 more minutes. Is anybody voting on YouTube? I don't have it up. I love this. It's an even split on X. Okay. Yeah, this is bringing me back. This, like, you allegedly, we told you about this, right? Like, we used to have a show called Midday Rush, and we did this. And oh, no pressure, AK. Yeah, so this kind of brings me back to when we used to do this. All right, so AK the boss is asking what the options are so we can get him to do the tiebreaker. So 1 is the Lizzo cosplaying as Rocket Raccoon, and 2 is Black Ops Pandemonium. It's hard. Oh, okay, we gotta vote for Lizzo. All right, what time is it? 6:50. Panda Team 6, 9:57. All right, I'll take myself out. Give it to 1 since they didn't vote. Oh, mean green mother. So yeah, so yeah, so it looks like Erin wins it with Lizzo cosplaying as Rocket Raccoon. That's great. That's great. Yeah, you guys really came out tonight. That was awesome. And remember, we're gonna keep tabs on all our winners. So, once we get that merch, it's gonna get really interesting. And this is cool because, like, we deal with a lot of terrible tragedies, like on a daily, it seems now. Like we're when you're following the news, you just hear so much. You got to take some time and kind of smile, laugh, because otherwise, what are we doing? What are we fighting for to make this country better if we forget that we're humans at the end of the day, and we do deserve to enjoy life as well. All right, so we got some final thoughts here, just to recap everything. Gavin Newsom is in the hot seat after failed efforts to contain the flames on the West Coast. Laken Riley's name will be on the books in Congress, though the Democrats don't like to read books. Trump to ask the Supreme Court to pause the hush money case on his imaginary girlfriend that Judge Merchan made up. South Korea is mirroring the U.S. 2020 election as Yoon Suk Yeol is getting the Trump impeachment treatment. And that's a story we didn't cover, but I'm just going to read it anyway. And Syria reopens its airport since Bashar Assad's skydiving accident, allegedly. So those are 2 stories we didn't get to cover because, we kind of went off on the first 2, but, rightfully so. But definitely go and check out what's going on there because those 2 are very interesting. But yeah, so Jackson, it's always a pleasure. I love that you do this show with me. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
This is really great. Thank you all of you guys who are watching, who are joining us. Allegedly Jackson and myself, we're always doing Sunset Rants, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays. I do mine with Brian, our producer, the threat to democracy himself, on Mondays. Also allegedly also at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then you got Tay and Dee, our cynical Latina, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss any of our shows, you guys. We're working super hard post cancel culture. Let's do this. Jackson, just let them know where they can find you, and then
You can find me on X at Allegedly Jack, and in the community, the Shenanigans Shack.
Yes, and you can find me on X and Instagram, Elizabeth213A, also on YouTube, Elizabeth213 without the A. So hope to see you guys out there, and have a great night. Bye.